Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope that you all are doing fine. Today we'll continue our lessons from commerce. Hi everyone. Oh, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's to you all. I wish you all lots of happiness and so much joy. Okay? Happy Vals, guys. Okay, so we will continue our lesson from commerce. We did the first three and today we will complete the remaining two. So first you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. So you all know this, right? So you click on your name, move on to language art, grade 3, commerce, and we will have the lesson commerce with direct address and after introductory words, and then commerce review. All right, so first of all, we have to note the way we use commas. So first of all, you have to use commas to separate three or more items in a series. Put comma after each item in the series except for the last one. So you could have a series that lists like different things. You have to make sure that you put commas in all except the last. You could say that my oh wait. So we could say all right, so you could say that my dinner consists of pizza, Coke, and apples. Now you can say that after pizza we had a comma, and after Coke as well we had a comma. But you have to make sure that you do not put comma like for apple. So before you get the last list in a sentence, you have to put a comma between maybe the last word and the conjunction. So we have a conjunction here which is and. So you have to make sure you put your comma in between the word and the conjunction. Just like we have here, the American flag is red, white, and blue. So you can see we have comma after red, after white, and then blue here. There's no comma for blue. The last comma comes before the conjunction. So that is the right pattern that you put words in a series. Okay. All right, so yeah, just like for the sentence that David just left on the chat, February 1, 2025 is my birthday, yeah. So you in dates, use a comma between the day and the year. So just like you've put that on the chat, that is the correct way to put your birth date or whenever you have to put a date. Okay, so you have to put the comma in between the day and year. Okay, so we could say February 1, 2025. So this is the right way to put it. You cannot say, nah. So for example, you cannot put comma in between the month and the date. You put the comma in between the date and then the year. Okay, so that's the day that you were born or the day that something is happening. Just like today, we have February 14 is Valentine's Day, right? So we have February 14, 2025. All right, so you have to put the comma between the day and then the year. All right, so for the cities and countries, you use comma between a city and a state or between a city and country. So just like we have Miami, Florida, we have Paris, France. Okay, we could have you were born 2016, meaning you are 9 years old. Okay, good. So just like we have these Tokyo, Japan, you have to put the comma in between the city and then the country. Okay, we can have Istanbul, Turkey, right? Like this. Okay, so we have the comma in between the city and then the country. We could have, for example, Berlin and then Germany. So just like this, okay, this is how you make sure that you write your city and the country with the comma in between the city. Okay, so moving on. Oh, so your birthday is on September 3rd, 2015. So how old are you gonna be turning, Ivana? How old would you be in September? Oh, 9. Okay. Happy ninth birthday in advance. September is still far, actually. So by then, I remember to wish you a happy birthday by the grace of God. So yeah. All right, so moving on, we have use commas to separate the name of a person being spoken to from the rest of the sentence. So if you are talking about a person, you have to use a comma to separate the name of the person. Okay, so just like we have Bella and we have thank you. So something like this. So you have to make sure you put comma to separate, or either thank you Bella or thank you Bella for your help, right? So whenever you have a name of a person just like this, you have to make sure that you put a comma. Okay? So we could have example. All right, so we could have Ivana, thank you, something like that. Or we could have also, okay, David. All right, so this is what you need to do if you want to put a person's name after a sentence, or to differentiate it, you have to make sure that you put a comma. Even if the sentence is long like this, you would say thank you, comma, Bella, comma, the remaining sentence. Okay? So we also have use commas after words like yes, no, well, and many others when they are followed by a complete sentence. So for example, if you want to say no, I haven't eaten. Okay, you have to make sure that you put a comma in between words like no, yes, well. Words like this that we use, you have to make sure that you put a comma in between the remaining sentences. Okay? All right, so we just have yes, that sounds great. So you have to put comma in between yes and the remaining sentence. And well, let me think about that. So just like this. Okay, so we will move on to the test now. All right, so we have the grade 3, and we will go to commas. Okay, so you have to correct the bold part of the sentence by adding any missing commas. If the sentence is already correct, don't add any commas. So, will you go to the dance with me, Austin? So, what do you think is going to be the right comma there? Of course, you need to have a comma before Austin. Remember, like when you want to have a name of a person, you must separate it with a comma. So, Austin, you need to have a comma before the name. And we have, I forgot to close the garage door, that. So, you have to make sure that you have what? A comma before that. Well, we usually have more rain in October than September. So, in between well and we, you have to make sure that you put your comma there. Okay, so we'll move on to the test and you all can share your answers with me. So, we have correct the bold part of the sentence by adding any missing commas. If the sentence is already correct, don't add any comma. We have, I spilled my milk all over the floor. So, what is the right one? Do we need to add comma or no? What do you think? All right, so we have option two. So the first word is just like yes, well. All these words you have to make sure that you add your comma. So no, there are no lions living in the wild in Europe. So what's the right part? Where should we add the comma? So we have also option two. No. So this is starting a sentence. So we will have what? Okay. So we have, well, the moon is covered with a thick gray dust. Well, the moon is covered with a thick gray dust. What do you think here? So we have option one. Okay. Chew your food carefully before you swallow it, Jeffrey. Chew your food carefully before you swallow it, Jeffrey. What do you think here? So we have. Okay, so you have to put a comma in between it and then Jeffrey. Wow, I can't believe how delicious this carrot tastes. Wow, I can't believe how delicious this carrot tastes. So where should we have our comma? So option 2. Okay. Okay. I see how algae are like plants, Mrs. Armstrong. I see how algae are like plants, Mrs. Armstrong. So where should we have our comma? Where will you have the comma now in this sentence? So option 1. All right, so we have wow, someone is born in the United States about every 8 seconds. Wow, someone is born in the United States about every 8 seconds. So what do you think here is the right part to include your comma? So we have the first one. So the first one will be wow, someone. Okay. All right. So good. I forgot to close the garage door, Dad. I forgot to close the garage door, Dad. What is the right part to include your comma? Okay, so we have the first. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this particular lesson. We'll move on to the next, but you have to make sure that you complete this lesson later on. If you haven't done this, we'll move on to commerce reviews. So this is a review of like everything we've done under this lesson. So we'll just move on to the test and you can share your answers with me. Okay? So an important day in American history is July 4, 1776. So where do we include our comma now? So where are we adding the comma to this one? Good job. So you need to have the comma in between the day and the year. Good. So we have the sailors left the harbor on January 19, 1986. So where should we have our comma now? So this is also an first one. Okay. All right. I think Lamar that we should water the plants before dark. I think Lamar that we should water the plants before dark. So where should we have our comma? All right, this is option one. So you need to have a comma before the name and after the name because you still have more sentences. We are learning about the solar system, Dad. We are learning about it will be over in the next maybe 8 minutes. 8 minutes. So we are learning about the solar system, Dad. So what do you think? So we have a comma in between system, that. Okay. All right. I want you perpetuate my socks, shoes, and gloves. Where should we have our comma? All right, so it will be the first after each of the list except the last one. Okay. Miss Durham, your calendar fell on the floor. Miss Durham, your calendar fell on the floor. So where should we have our comma? Okay, so we have after the name, okay? Malia, there is a cool breeze out here on the deck. Malia, there's a cool breeze out here on the deck. So which one? Where should we have the comma? So we have comma in between Malia and there. Okay, so we have the stream is full of frogs, turtles, and fish. The stream is full of frogs, turtles, and stream and fish. So what do we have here? So we have the second one. Okay. All right, so we have, yes, the Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water on Earth. So where should we have our comma here? So you have a comma in between yes and they. All right, so we also have, do the tunnel, the bridge, and the highway all have bad traffic? Do the tunnel, the bridge, and the highway all have bad traffic? So where should we have our comma? All right, so we have this one. All right, so do you guys have any question concerning this lesson? Do you guys have any question concerning this lesson or not? Any question? You have to make sure you complete this test and then you also do the final test, okay? All right, so since you have no questions, I hope that you guys enjoy your weekend, okay? And I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Bye, guys.